Okay, this is a test, and I'm not even sure if I'm recording, so I'm doing this to test how loud my voice is and to see how I can send this to YouTube. So this is the home screen for the new iPad, and I'm starting to show you things that are actually in the iPad because I already have the camera set up so that I can take exactly the screen, and I don't want to move it to show you the things I was going to show you first about how the cover works and all that kind of stuff, so, and where the buttons are. So I'm just going to start from here. So this, you already know this kind of thing, I guess. If you these are some apps that I've already put on your iPad, and this is the first home screen. Oh, I see that the light is going to dim on there, which I really don't want. Oh no, it dimmed on here. Okay, I might have to set that so it won't go off. At any rate, so this is the first home screen, but you have 7 home screens. I've filled most of them up. There's your last one. No, there's your last one. Maybe, I think it's 9 home screens. So the things that I put in the back are things that I think you'd use less. At least that's the way I've set mine up. So here's your main home screen, and here you have, I'm going to show you how to move any of these apps from one screen to another. This may work the same for your Android, but you'll see it here. So let's take, you can press on any app, doesn't mean if the one you're going to change, and all of them will start to wiggle. And the ones with a little X in the upper corner are the ones that you can delete. They're not native apps. So you notice, for instance, the calendar and the clock and notes, those are native apps and you cannot delete them. You could move them to the last page if they bothered you. So in order to move, let's say Instagram, I'm going to move that to the second page. So you just hold it and press it and then move it. It can sometimes be a little weird, jump too fast, see, like that. So you want to just kind of grab it and hold it just about halfway on and halfway off. Sometimes you have to do it a couple of times before you can make sure it's going to stop. All right, so then you can drop it. So the idea is to get it halfway on and halfway off if you want to have some control. Now from here, you could move it back, you could move it to a next screen. I've got my hand in this awkward position here, so let me do this. Oh, come on. There. You can move it. So you can move them all around too, but they're going to reorient in the same order, just -1. So for instance, I could put that one up here and all the others would readjust, or I can put it back down here and it will readjust, or I can take it back to the second home page, which is where I had it before I moved it. I think here up next to YouTube. Okay, so, and to make it stop wiggling and to say you're done, you double press the home key in the center. And that is used, that home key is used by Apple for many, many things. So this is just one of the things in order to make the app stop wiggling, and now you can't move them. Let's see what else I had here. So in order to delete an app, you make it wiggle, and then you press that little X in the corner, and it's going to ask you if you're sure, and it's going to tell you that it will delete all of its information. And what that means, I'm trying to find here one that I can delete. Let's just say I'm going to delete this one. The app's gone free. So I'm going to make it wiggle, and then I'm going to press the X, and it's going to say we'll also delete all of its data. And then you can cancel it, or you can go ahead and delete. In this case, I'm going to cancel it, but if I did click delete, I would still be able to re-upload that again, whether I had paid for it or not, because it will be listed in my iTunes store under my account for, quote, purchased apps. and then it will, all I have to do is press the little cloud icon and it will upload it again to the iPad. Of course, it'll probably end up on some weird page. You'll have to find it again. So here, I'm just going to double click so that now I'm off again. Now, there are a number of what they call quick actions from the home screen. So one of them is pulling down like that. You just pull down to about the middle from the top, and you'll get these two things. It usually goes to today, but I usually am more interested in notifications. So I'm going to press on that one, or it's already there. So that will give me the date. Sometimes it's hard to get the date in here. And for some reason, calendar, almost use this not at all. But when you first open the iPad, there will be a number of notifications, unless you've turned them off, because I haven't, telling you which apps have updated, or if you have any notifications from Instagram or anything like that. And so just remember to click both of them. Now, if you use the calendar, which I don't, there will be a bunch of things listed up and down here that will show you things that are upcoming on your calendar. And that may be modifiable from the calendar app. I'm not sure because I don't use it. So today, notifications, see, it tells me that Instagram was updated and et cetera, happened. And if you want to get rid of this list, you can just click this little X up here and it says clear. And so if you want to clear them all, you do that. I don't know what you do if you want to just get rid of some of them. Okay, so in order to get back out of this pull down notifications menu, you'll see this little arrow down here at the bottom, and you just pull that up, and it's like a shade going up or down. And the next one is you pull up from the bottom, the very, very bottom, right off the screen like that. And you'll get a little small area here. And there are only certain things here, and you may be able to say what's going to be on some of these. But for instance, what you have here is the brightness level, so you can just change that easily. These are like quick actions. And you can go into airplane mode. I can tell you about that in a minute. You can change your Wi-Fi. You can enable Bluetooth if you have anything connected to this by Bluetooth, which you probably won't. This little half moon thing is called Do Not Disturb or Mute. I think it gives you both options. If you, no, it just gave you the Do Not Disturb there. And that would mean that, hold on a minute, it means that it keeps everything but the alarms from making sounds if you're asleep, for example. But it doesn't save any battery or turn anything else off. That's all it's for. And the little lock thing, I believe, is the lock screen orientation. Oh, okay. So if for some reason when you turn the iPad and you don't want it to change orientation, you want it to stay like wide angle, then you could just click that easily, and then you could off-click it when you were finished. And the only thing that's said here for some reason is the Wi-Fi. I presume that means that my Wi-Fi is on and going. Over here, there's a volume button, and a lot of people use their Apple products for listening to music. And so that would be to just quickly change your volume. This thing right here that says, well, let's see, first of all, over here, this is one you actually might use. It's a camera icon. So if you wanted to get to your camera quickly, instead of going up here to click on it, you could flick this up and click that button and you would get to camera. However, I just noticed that there is this other little, well, it's not on here. On my other one, maybe that's because you can't get the latest version. There's a little camera icon right on the thing, but that's not going to work for you. So you would just find it here. You could go to photos. You could take photos, but you can't do anything like delete photos or anything. So in other words, if somebody else picked up your iPad and started to use it without your permission, they could take pictures, but they couldn't remove any of your pictures or anything like that. And this one is a timer, and I'm not sure I even know how to use it. I think it works with the camera. This thing that says AirPlay, that would be available only if you had an Apple TV. This is how I can shoot stuff from my iPad up to wirelessly to my computer, because my television screen, because my television is plugged into this thing called Apple TV. And I have an extra one of those that you could have if you ever wanted it, but you have to have the right thing to be able to plug in on the back of your TV, and I'm not sure that you did. So that's this little pull-down screen. The other quick action is for the center. You go from the center of the screen and you just pull down. That gives you a search bar up here and a place to type down here. And when you want to search for anything on the entire computer, or your iPad, this is where you would enter the words. Let's see if I can, I don't even know what I would say. Okay, I used the word clay in there, and it brought up these things that I believe are from its news app, and from the App Store it gave you some things with the word clay in it, and it gave you Wikipedia for clay, and it gave you various websites and Bing searches, and that's like Google search, only they use Bing for their natural one. If you had something in an app or something that was called Clay, or you knew a person named Clay and that was in your contacts, then that would have come up as a search result. They call their search engine, their little mini search engine within the iPad, they call it Spotlight Search. And so you might see that word sometime. If you had the latest version of the operating system, which you can't get, down here you would see a bunch of other things like proactive search and stuff. And I'm saying that only because you might see those words somewhere and be confused. So to get rid of this, I think you just do it back down. No, you don't. How do you get rid of it? No. I don't know how to get rid of it. I've used it many times before and it just sort of went away. I guess usually I've tapped on something that has meant, that I wanted to go to. So there's a little X over here. I'm going to click that and see if, yes, that returns it to no results page. That was like clearing this search bar. And now let's see if I can get rid of it by going up. Yes. Well, that didn't quite do it. I'm going to try that again. So bring it up. How do I get rid of it? Do I go up? Yes, just up from the center. So there are a lot of what they call gestures on these screens because there are very few buttons. So you have to have ways of pushing things or pressing things or swiping things in order to make stuff happen. I'm going to stop here and see if, well, let's see, should I go on to... Because I could easily not be recording anything, and I need to know that. Bye.